The career of Richard Chamberlain is a story filled with glamour, acclaim, and undeniable talent. Yet one chapter of his past remains almost entirely unspoken: his role as Dr. Kildare. The television series, which ran during the early 1960s, propelled Chamberlain into stardom, making him a household name and a cultural icon. Millions of fans grew to love his portrayal of the dedicated young doctor navigating the challenges of medicine and morality. Despite the fame, Chamberlain has remained curiously silent about his experiences on the show. Interviews are brief, references are fleeting, and questions about Dr. Kildare are often redirected or dismissed. This unusual reticence has long puzzled fans and television historians alike, creating an air of mystery around a role that was pivotal in shaping his career. Chamberlain's reluctance to speak about Dr. Kildare may be tied to the intense scrutiny that accompanied the show's success. At the height of the series' popularity, he became an icon of romantic idealism, often typecast as a charming, compassionate doctor. While this brought adoration, it also imposed expectations and pressures that Chamberlain later found limiting. He sought to diversify his career, taking on theatrical roles, made-for-TV movies, and challenging stage performances, often to distance himself from the narrow public perception created by Kildare. This tension between professional acclaim and personal freedom provides a compelling lens through which to understand his ongoing avoidance of the subject. Television historians note that Dr. Kildare was more than a medical drama. It was a phenomenon that shaped American culture during the 1960s. Chamberlain's performance resonated with viewers because it embodied a sense of integrity, intelligence, and emotional depth that was rare for television leads at the time. His refusal to revisit the role publicly adds a layer of intrigue to the legacy of the series. While reruns and fan conventions celebrate Dr. Kildare, Chamberlain's absence in these discussions turns what might be a nostalgic reflection into a story of omission, a deliberate choice to let the character live in the public imagination, without personal commentary from the actor himself. Those close to Chamberlain suggest that his silence is less about regret and more about personal boundaries. Having been thrust into celebrity at a young age, he developed a careful approach to public narratives. By maintaining distance from his iconic role, he preserves autonomy over his personal and professional identity. This approach aligns with his broader career strategy, pursuing roles and projects that challenge his abilities and allow him to grow as an actor rather than relying solely on the fame and comfort of past success. His discretion has, paradoxically, enhanced the mystique surrounding both his career and the character of Dr. Kildare, keeping fans and historians intrigued decades after the show ended. The cultural impact of Dr. Kildare is undeniable, yet Chamberlain's avoidance of the topic has created an unusual dynamic in Hollywood lore. Where most actors embrace or at least reflect on their breakthrough roles, Chamberlain's choice to remain silent transforms a conversation into speculation, rumor, and retrospection. Biographers and journalists have pieced together glimpses of the behind-the-scenes environment, long filming schedules, the challenges of early television production, and the intense fan attention that came with overnight fame. Chamberlain's personal recollections, however, remain largely inaccessible, leaving a gap that amplifies both curiosity and reverence for his craft. Fans continue to search for insights into his experience on Dr. Kildare, analyzing interviews, press materials, and appearances for any hint of commentary. While some speculate that the role represented both opportunity and constraint, others believe Chamberlain's silence reflects a deeper artistic philosophy, that certain moments of one's career are best left unspoken, allowing the work itself to speak for the performer. This choice invites reflection on the nature of celebrity, artistic ownership, and the complicated relationship between an actor and their most famous work. Despite his reticence, Chamberlain's influence on television and popular culture endures. Dr. Kildare introduced audiences to a new type of television hero, compassionate, intelligent, and morally grounded, paving the way for future medical dramas and character-driven series. Chamberlain's performance remains a touchstone for actors and viewers alike, precisely because of its authenticity and the enigmatic aura created by his silence. It is a rare case where absence of commentary enhances, rather than diminishes, the legacy of both actor and character. Ultimately, the story of Richard Chamberlain and his silence on Dr. Kildare is as compelling as the show itself. It is a narrative of fame, discretion, and artistic integrity, a reminder that not all stories need to be retold to remain powerful. Chamberlain's careful stewardship of his public persona, combined with the enduring cultural impact of his most iconic role, creates a fascinating paradox, a celebrated legacy that is made more intriguing by what remains unsaid. In a world where every celebrity moment is dissected, his refusal to talk about Dr. Kildare is a bold act of preservation, letting the work endure on its own terms, while keeping the man behind the legend enigmatic and compelling. The story of Richard Chamberlain is a fascinating journey through fame, talent, and the complex dynamics of Hollywood stardom. Few actors have experienced the meteoric rise that Chamberlain did with the television series Dr. Kildare, a show that ran from 1961 to 1966 and transformed him into a cultural icon. The series showcased Chamberlain as a brilliant, compassionate young doctor, a character whose intelligence and moral integrity resonated deeply with audiences across America. However, despite the adoration, Chamberlain has remained almost entirely silent about his time on the show, a refusal that has intrigued fans and historians for decades. This silence adds an air of mystery to his career and elevates Dr. Kildare from a mere television series to a lasting cultural enigma, where the actor's absence in commentary becomes part of the narrative itself. Chamberlain's reluctance to discuss Dr. Kildare may stem from the intense scrutiny and typecasting he experienced during the show's run. At the height of its popularity, he became synonymous with the idealized young doctor, handsome, ethical, and perpetually calm under pressure. While this image brought fame and admiration, it also constrained him professionally. Chamberlain, a classically trained actor, sought roles that would challenge him artistically, from theatrical performances to complex film characters. By maintaining discretion about his most famous role, he resists a modern expectation that public figures must continually explain, justify, or revisit their past work. This choice is particularly striking in an era increasingly dominated by social media, where actors are expected to provide constant access to their personal and professional lives. Chamberlain's silence serves as a model of personal agency and boundary setting, demonstrating that fame does not require the surrender of one's narrative control. The influence of Dr. Kildare extends far beyond Chamberlain's personal story. The series redefined television medical dramas, setting a standard for character-driven storytelling, ethical dilemmas, and emotional authenticity. Actors and creators who followed in his footsteps owe a debt to the groundwork laid by the show, even as its lead remains reticent. Chamberlain's discretion allows the series itself to occupy a historical and cultural space that is preserved from contemporary reinterpretation, ensuring that the original artistry remains central to its legacy. In the end, the combination of Chamberlain's remarkable talent, his deliberate avoidance of retrospection, and the enduring popularity of Dr. Kildare creates a compelling study in legacy, identity, and the tension between public adoration and personal autonomy. His story underscores the idea that sometimes the power of a role lies not only in the performance itself, but also in the spaces left intentionally unexplored by the actor. This careful stewardship of his narrative ensures that both Richard Chamberlain and Dr. Kildare continue to captivate audiences. Decades after the show first aired, Richard Chamberlain's silence on Dr. Kildare also invites reflection on the broader evolution of television and celebrity in the 20th century. At the time of the show's airing, television was becoming a dominant cultural force, and actors like Chamberlain were suddenly thrust into a new kind of fame, one that was intense, immediate, and often intrusive. Fans wrote letters, journalists conducted exhaustive interviews, and studios attempted to mold stars into idealized figures. For Chamberlain, navigating the sudden public attention while maintaining artistic integrity was a delicate balance. His decision to avoid discussing Dr. Kildare in depth may have been a conscious strategy to protect both his craft and his personal life, creating a boundary between the actor's identity and the character's cultural image. Moreover, Chamberlain's approach highlights the psychological realities of early stardom. Being a young actor propelled to fame can be both exhilarating and isolating. While the accolades of Dr. Kildare were numerous, the pressures of public expectation were immense. Chamberlain faced a dual challenge of meeting the audience's idealized vision of the character while pursuing personal growth and exploring a broader range of roles. His avoidance of reflecting publicly on the series may reflect a need to reclaim narrative control and prevent his professional identity from being overshadowed by a single role, a challenge many actors face when a breakthrough part defines a public persona. Chamberlain's broader career underscores why he might choose this path of selective silence. His work in miniseries such as The Thorn Birds and his performances on stage and in film demonstrate his commitment to depth, complexity, and artistic exploration. By refusing to dwell on Dr. Kildare, he ensures that audiences and critics evaluate his talent based on a body of work rather than a single iconic performance. This conscious decision preserves his versatility and reinforces the idea that an actor's legacy should encompass all achievements rather than be limited to early fame. The silence surrounding Dr. Kildare also enhances the cultural mystique of the series itself. Whereas many television shows are continually reinterpreted through interviews and retrospectives with their stars, Dr. Kildare stands as a narrative that must speak for itself. Chamberlain's lack of commentary transforms the series into a self-contained work, allowing the character of Dr. Kildare to remain timeless and universal. Audiences are invited to engage with the story and the character without the influence of retrospective explanation, a rarity in an age where behind-the-scenes narratives often dominate public perception. Finally, Chamberlain's reticence can be seen as a statement about artistic ownership. By choosing not to discuss his most famous early role, he emphasizes that the work itself carries meaning independent of the actor's personal reflections. It is a reminder that certain artistic achievements are best experienced directly, without mediation. In doing so, he preserves both the integrity of his performance and the mystique that has made Dr. Kildare an enduring part of television history. This careful balance between visibility and discretion cements Richard Chamberlain's place not only as an iconic actor, but also as a figure who mastered the art of managing fame on his own terms. Richard Chamberlain's continued silence on Dr. Kildare also underscores the evolution of television fandom and the intense connection viewers form with iconic characters. In the 1960s, audiences were captivated not only by the narrative of the show, but also by Chamberlain himself, whose charm, intellect, and empathy made Dr. Kildare a symbol of idealism and morality. This adoration created a type of celebrity scrutiny that was unprecedented for television actors at the time. Letters, fan clubs, and media coverage contributed to an environment in which Chamberlain was celebrated yet constantly observed. His decision to avoid discussing the series in depth reflects an awareness of the pressure such attention can impose and a desire to retain a private life amidst the intensity of public fascination. His avoidance also raises questions about the intersection of fame and personal identity. Many actors struggle to reconcile their own individuality with the personas they portray on screen, especially when early success is overwhelmingly associated with a single role. Chamberlain, a classically trained actor who valued artistic exploration, likely recognized that dwelling on Dr. Kildare could overshadow his broader career accomplishments. By remaining reticent, he allows his later performances in miniseries, films, and theater to define his artistic legacy on their own merits, rather than being continually measured against his early television fame. Interestingly, this deliberate silence has amplified the mystique of Dr. Kildare itself. Without direct commentary from Chamberlain, the show exists as a cultural artifact that must speak for itself. Historians and fans alike are left to reconstruct the behind-the-scenes experiences from secondary sources, including interviews with co-stars, production notes, and media reports. This lack of direct reflection encourages a more immersive engagement with the show, allowing audiences to appreciate the subtleties of Chamberlain's performance and the series' storytelling without the filter of retrospective interpretation. That Chamberlain's reticence also speaks to a broader understanding of the long-term implications of celebrity. In a culture increasingly obsessed with instant commentary and social media reflections, his choice to maintain discretion is unusual yet prescient. By not revisiting Dr. Kildare publicly, he demonstrates that fame does not require constant disclosure or participation in nostalgia-driven media. This stance is a testament to his personal agency, showing that an actor can maintain control over the narrative of their own life, even when early roles become cultural touchstones. Finally, the enduring fascination with Chamberlain's silence highlights the paradoxical nature of celebrity. Sometimes what is left unsaid has as much impact as what is spoken. His decision to avoid reflecting publicly on Dr. Kildare has made the character even more legendary, creating a space where fans' imaginations and cultural memory fill in the gaps. Chamberlain's story, therefore, is not only one of early success and later artistic exploration, but also a powerful example of managing fame with integrity and subtlety. The result is a legacy that combines talent, mystery, and wisdom, a testament to an actor who understood that sometimes restraint is the most compelling narrative of all. Beyond professional considerations, Chamberlain's silence on Dr. Kildare also reflects a deep understanding of legacy and cultural memory. By not revisiting the role, he allows the character to stand independently, letting Dr. Kildare exist in the collective imagination of audiences rather than being filtered through the actor's own retrospective commentary. This intentional absence turns the series into a living artifact, one that continues to resonate with viewers across generations while preserving the integrity of Chamberlain's broader career. In a sense, his silence transforms what might be perceived as avoidance into a deliberate artistic choice, one that ensures the show's cultural impact remains undiluted by personal narrative. Chamberlain's decision also illuminates the psychological dimensions of fame. Becoming a household name at a young age can create immense pressure, and navigating that scrutiny requires careful management of one's public persona. By choosing not to speak about Dr. Kildare, Chamberlain maintained a degree of personal control, protecting himself from a constant public evaluation that often accompanies iconic roles. This choice exemplifies a rare wisdom in celebrity management, recognizing that fame does not necessitate full disclosure, and that restraint can be as powerful as visibility in shaping public perception. Interestingly, the absence of commentary has amplified fan engagement with Dr. Kildare. Historians, critics, and enthusiasts have pieced together insights from production notes, co-star interviews, and archival media, turning the show into a subject of ongoing speculation and fascination. Chamberlain's reticence invites a participatory form of viewership, where audiences fill the gaps with imagination and interpretation. This dynamic has contributed to the enduring mystique of both the actor and the series, highlighting the paradox that silence can, at times, speak louder than words. Moreover, Chamberlain's broader career choices reinforce the intentionality of his silence. By pursuing diverse roles in television, film, and theater, he demonstrated a commitment to versatility and artistic exploration. Avoiding repeated discussion of Dr. Kildare allows each new project to be evaluated on its own merits, rather than being overshadowed by early fame. This strategy underscores the importance of agency in an actor's career, revealing how discretion can be a powerful tool for shaping a lasting and respected legacy. Ultimately, Richard Chamberlain's refusal to talk about Dr. Kildare is a testament to the complex interplay between fame, identity, and artistry. His silence preserves a character's integrity, protects his personal and professional autonomy, and enhances the cultural mystique surrounding the show. In a world increasingly dominated by retrospective interviews and social media commentary, Chamberlain's choice stands out as a deliberate, thoughtful approach to managing fame and legacy, ensuring that both the actor and his iconic character endure in the public imagination on their own terms. Richard Chamberlain's silence on Dr. Kildare also highlights the broader societal context of television fame in the 1960s. At that time, television actors were often thrust into intense public scrutiny with little support for managing the pressures of celebrity. Chamberlain, suddenly recognized across America as the ideal young doctor, experienced both adulation and intrusion. Fans wrote letters in overwhelming numbers, and media outlets constantly sought insight into his personal life. Choosing to withhold commentary on Dr. Kildare can be seen as an act of self-preservation, protecting his privacy while allowing the character to maintain its cultural resonance independently. This approach demonstrates a sophisticated understanding of the balance between public visibility and personal boundaries, a balance many modern actors struggle to maintain. Furthermore, Chamberlain's career decisions following Dr. Kildare reflect the intentionality behind his silence. By focusing on diverse roles in theater, miniseries, and film, he demonstrated a desire to be recognized as a versatile actor rather than merely a television icon. Projects like The Thorn Birds and his stage work challenged him artistically, allowing him to redefine his professional identity on his own terms. Avoiding discussions of Dr. Kildare ensured that these later achievements were not overshadowed by nostalgia